Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about Kevin. We love Kevin. If you guys didn't know, Kevin is just that one guy, or Kavina, the one girl, who is just so ignorant, but like almost in the most blissful way possible. And I just love reading these stories. They're so funny. We all know a Kevin or Kevina. Yeah, this is gonna be a slightly shorter one, last shorter one. And then tomorrow's video is gonna be incel tears. I know you guys love that. I am on the very last day of my trip as this video airs. So we will be back, and also stay tuned. I'm gonna be uploading like really many miniature vlogs on this channel in tandem with the Reddit. So you guys stay tuned for that. But yeah, let's get into this. Stories about Kevin. Let's see what's been popping today. My cat Kevin keeps baiting me with belly rubs, so I suplexed him and triggered a civil war. Oh man, I've never seen a cat be referenced as a Kevin. I have two cats. Oh, me too. One of them, Charlie, is basically Kevin if Kevin was a furry little chaos gremlin. Yeah, we love that. He's playful, feisty, full of energy, and he acts like he's the main character of a reality show I didn't sign up for. His favorite move is to crawl up into my bed, flop down, belly up, paws, curls, looking for a picture of innocent affection and looking like the picture. I reach out to rub his belly like a fool, and then he immediately bites me like I betrayed the sacred cat code. Dude, I have met a couple cats like this where they like, oh, come on, please, just a little rub. Luckily, my cats, I don't know, they have like zero like awareness for survival. They have like zero survival skills. I could just rub their bellies. I could just like jab them in the organs and they wouldn't even know. And they would just not even care. They're just so like, oh, just please pet me. I got lucky with my cats. It's a game to him. By the way, I wouldn't actually jab my cats in the organs. I was making okay, never mind. That was a bad one. The ultimate bait and chop. So naturally, I was suplexing him gently on the bed and sofa. I do that too. Always with full back support and love. I've mastered the art. It takes like a bump. He takes it like a bump. He takes the bump like a WWE legend. He doesn't run. He keeps coming back for more, and honestly, he thrives on it. Now, the other cat, Momo, is the complete opposite. Quiet, introverted, stoic. Wow, total opposites in the house is funny. You can carry him like a grocery bag and he wouldn't care. Momo is the embodiment of leave me alone. One day, Charlie and Momo was napping in a couch together, cute, peaceful. I walked by and decided to hit Charlie with a suplex, surprise suplex. He landed like a champ, but then Momo stands up, growls, and loses his entire mind. This cat, who has never been raised a paw in protest, suddenly goes feral, jumps Charlie like he's been waiting his whole life for this moment, and chases him all around the basement. I just stood there dying of laughter, watching the world's quietest cat declare war over a suplex. Now I'm terrified. I've activated something deep inside Momo. He doesn't forget he's watching. And meanwhile, Charlie still flops belly up like he's playing emotional roulette every time. So yeah, my cat is a Kevin. My other cat is a sleeper agent. And I might be the villain. That's a cute story. I like that. That was a good way to start it. All right, now let's see what other mayhem we can get into. Colleagues Kevina. My colleague, 26, and female, has quite a complicated family due to divorce and remarrying. She has a number of step siblings that she doesn't know particularly well. Sadly, her grandfather died last year. Oh, I'm sorry. She had to endure the following text exchange from her stepsister, who's 23. Stepsister, what are your plans for the funeral? Colleague says, I'm getting a lift with X. Stepsister, no, I mean like hair and makeup. Do you want to share a stylist? Why would I want a stylist for a funeral? Stepsister says, well, I want to look good in the photographs, even if you don't. Bro, it's a funeral. What? What photographs? It's a funeral, not a wedding. Stepsister says, so there won't be a funeral photographer? Who the fuck? Who hires a photographer for a funeral? That's like on some Kim Kardashian stuff. Colleague goes, what? WTF, a funeral photographer isn't a thing. Not all family gatherings require a photographer. Stepsister goes, are you sure? I'm going to go check with dad. I get that she's never been to a funeral before, but where the hell did she get the idea that there'd be a photographer? There are instant accounts posting families gathering around a coffin looking sad. I just get, yeah, like why would you want to even display someone that's like unalived? What the hell? All right, okay is the title of this one. Someone suggested this sub in response to a comment I made about a past student. I've been teaching college courses for many moons now, and I had brilliant students. I've had mediocre students. I've had students that made me fear the gene pool, including one girl who couldn't accept that whales were real. What? This Kevin, though, was possibly the dumbest individual I had ever met. The type that wouldn't remember to breathe without external prompting. Shortly after the term started, Kevin approached before the start of class to complain that he'd gone to my office and I wasn't there. Of course I wasn't, because he hadn't gone to my office hours, which was posted on a hard copy of the syllabus on the course site. And in a so large, my blind grandmother could read this, and she's unalive font on my door, office door. I reminded him of my office days and hours and where they were posted. He just nodded and said, okay. And what really did seem like an acknowledgement. The next week, he again accosted me, complaining that he'd gone to my office and I wasn't there. I went over my office hours again, now wondering if there was a few squirrels short of a tree. If he was a few squirrels short of a tree. At the end, he nodded sagely, saying, okay. This dude's favorite line, okay. It was not, in fact, okay. This pattern continued for the entire semester. He constantly complained that I wasn't there. He was going to my office. Dude, I bet you he went to the wrong office. He was going to my office so late in the evening and called that security was called. He was going to my office on Saturdays and Sundays at 5 in the morning. Dude, what is wrong with this guy? How does he not know how to read hours? He pounded on my office door and called me my name, leaving only when others in the buildings would tell him to get out. He then accused me the next day, every attempt at explaining always ending up with that infernal okay, and still no light on upstairs. It took several weeks, but I finally figured out why this was so difficult for him. I then had to explain to a grown man that teachers don't actually live in their offices. Oh, no way. Dude, he thought you lived in your office? That's hilarious. Yeah, you guys don't actually have lives. You guys are all robots. That he was genuinely floored by this. It still keeps me up that night. Then he gets worse. One day I noticed someone stealing the tires from a car in the parking lot. I called security. It was a rural area and the police were both in a different town and not very responsive. Not knowing that this brilliant Kevin was now part of the security team, he biked over and I pointed him to the thief's direction. He conversed. After a moment, the thief tossed the tires in his truck and drove away, all while Kevin happily waved him off. Kevin then informed me that it was all fine because the theft had permission. Oh my God, this guy is an idiot. I just blinked at him for a moment, briefly wondered if his parents were cousins, and then asked how he knew the theft hadn't been lying. Did he get a name for the car owner? Did he call the person or verify the story in any way? Did he get an ID? Kevin's face fell because, of course, he hadn't. He then hesitated, asking if he should bike after the thief. Dude, bike? Are you serious? Who was long gone by then. Man, I would have said, yeah, go for it. And I wouldn't have had someone this abysmally stupid to go after a criminal anyways. I called the real police, who did precisely nothing, but the theft was caught later, stealing other tires. Kevin was always happy to see me as he biked around in his security uniform. He was nice enough, but I never stopped hoping he wouldn't have children. That is crazy. This is a Kevin for sure. One could imagine he was a ghost haunting your office and the way that he simply couldn't understand printed hours. I do hope he's no longer a security person. Dude, that's insane. Like, how are you that dumb? But like, he's like living probably a happy life because he has nothing to really think about. Oh no, Kavina can't read gas gauge. Oh, this sounds good. I think my best friend might be a Kavina. Recently, I went to visit my friend and spend a week with her and her parents at their lake house. She picked me up in front of the airport and we drove several hours to get to the lake house. I remember having a fleeting thought on the drive that we may be getting low on gas due to the sheer amount of time that we've been driving. I brushed it off and we made it to our destination with no problem. The next morning, her dad asked for the keys so he could drive to the town to buy groceries. He left and came back 2 minutes later stating that the car didn't have enough gas for 10 minutes drive to the road. He also stated Kavina how we made it all the way from the airport without getting gas. I kid you not, Kavina looked at her dad straight in the eye and said, "Dad, what do you mean? The car has half a tank." I checked multiple times since we left the airport and I'm still sitting at half full. Her dad, completely dumbfounded, looks at her and says, "Jesus Christ, were you looking at the oil temperature the whole time, weren't you?" Oh my God. Spoiler alert, she was. She thought that the oil temp gauge was the gas gauge and didn't notice the blaring low gas light at any point in the drive. That is insane. What? How are you that stupid? That's so mean. I know I'm mean for that, but like, oh my God. All right, this one's gonna be a little bit shorter of an episode. We're gonna probably read 2 more, and then I'm gonna read like 1 to 2 more on Patreon. Oh, and speaking of, you guys want daily exclusive content, even when I'm busy, I'm still pumping this content out. You guys get like 5 to 20 minutes of content. Now it's probably collectively like freaking a day's worth of content on the Patreon. If you guys are interested in that, first link in the description box. If not, all good. I'll still be making daily videos. All right, let's read 2 more. Kevin's emergency. Oh, this one's short. Okay. Kevin had to leave to work to take his girlfriend to the emergency room. Girlfriend works here also. He did not take her or even tell her he was leaving. What? Is he stupid? No way. That's not. It's possible Kevin has another girlfriend. Oh, true. I was about to say, that's not even like realistic. What? All right, we'll read this one. Kevin and the party. Kevin, ex-fiance, told me one afternoon, Friday afternoon after work, that we had a 21st birthday party to attend that night. We had both just finished up long shifts at our work, and he was getting dressed in jeans and a polo top. I quickly brushed my hair and threw on some jeggings and a knit top, and we jumped in the car to head off. I told him we can't just go empty-handed, and so we stopped to buy a bottle of wine and a bunch of flowers on the way. As we were getting closer, he asked me to get the invite out of my glove box, and I tell him the address. It was at this point I saw the very fancy invite, which stated the dress code was formal. I said, "Hey, this invite says dress code is formal." Kevin's, "Yeah, I saw that." Me, "We're not dressed formal to the party. We need to go back home and change." Kevin, "Nah, we're fine. We're almost there anyways." He doesn't listen to me. He insists that we were wearing is fine. It's just a birthday party. He also tells me that he got the invite almost 2 months prior, and he has been meaning to tell me about it earlier, but forgot. That is crazy. What? What do you mean forgot? Long story short, we arrived at the venue, a very fancy ballroom type venue in a prestigious club. Oh, I would have gone home right away. I would have called an Uber home. I'd been like, dude, I'm not sitting here with you. I am the only girl not in a stunning floor-length gown, and he's the only man not in a tuxedo. I was mortified and kept apologizing. Kevin didn't seem fazed by it at all. See, this is what I'm saying. When you're that dumb, it's just blissful. A few weeks later, I heard that Kevin had told people that I had never told him it was a formal event, and that is why we actually turned up dressed casually. Wow. You dodged a mega ultra bullet. All right, let's read one more because that other one was really short. No way. Kavina doesn't know about autumn, like the season. I am currently training to be a gardener, and I am in a class with a real. I could tell many stories, and I feel bad for her sometimes because she has a hard time understanding basic things. Dude, I have met so many people like this, and apparently was never taught the most basic things. She's basically on an intellectual level of a 12-year-old while she's actually 26. One day, 8 months into the course, while revisiting all the material we had learned for the final exam of that year with our teacher, she asked out of the blue why all the trees lost their leaves in the winter and had to be felled. Turns out that by that time, she had never understood that some trees drop their leaves in winter and grow new ones in spring. We were obviously taught as much, and she seems too confused pruning with cutting down the whole tree. We had a whole exam about all the possible ways to prune trees. There are more examples, but her not understanding basic concepts of even after hours and hours of our teacher explaining them to them. But that one just left me speechless. That's insane. How do you not know? I feel like you learned that in like 3rd grade. There are some people who you can really only pity because of what they're supposed to do in this world when they understand none of it. Yeah, a career in politics awaits. That's so funny. I wouldn't trust her to look after a bunch of plastic daffodils. God, I made the mistake of recommending hiring my friend at my job. 7 months in, she didn't understand anything. It was very awkward and she got fired, understandably. 12 hours before our beach trip, we were no longer friends. She's generally a smart person, but I was flabbergasted that she couldn't do a very simple job. That is crazy. Yeah, we're going to end it on that note. I know it's really short for my video standards, but probably the last short one that I have to do because I should be back in town tomorrow. So anyways, I love you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are on Patreon, we're going to do at least another 5 minutes on there. And yeah, I'll catch you guys there. If not, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Love you guys so much. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. Bye.